It is that time of year. Many of us, if you are an obsessive pre-planner like myself, are already thinking about what I want or what you want your reading goals to be for 2020 or the year after that or the year after that. Who knows? It could go on forever. But it can be tricky to know exactly where you want to start. Maybe you've never really set reading goals for yourself and you want to figure out the best way to go about it. Or maybe you always set reading goals, but this year you want to be a little more structured. You just need a little inspiration to get started. Well, I'm here for you. And I decided to make this video, or just a quick little how-to of the best way, or what I think is the best way, because that's how I do it, and I don't know, I'm confident in myself, how I think is the best way to set those reading goals. So let's do it. I think it's really fun to set reading goals for a few reasons. I think it keeps you focused on reading, it keeps you focused on enjoying it and focused on it as a hobby and a bit of leisure in and of itself. I also really enjoy keeping records of every book I've read, and this is something I encourage people to do. I wish more people do it. I wish I had done it forever. I wish I had done it from when I was a kid. How cool would that have been? So setting a yearly goal is just a good way to start keeping track, and you'll be amazed at just how much you are reading the more you keep track of it. I think it helps you stay motivated, and it's sort of fun in itself to tick things off as you go, if you are a list person like me, which I really, really am. Thirdly, it's just fun. It's just good, nerdy fun, and it's just enjoyable. I don't know what else more to say than that. So if you are convinced that you want to have a reading goal, and I think you really should, then let's get into the how-to, shall we? I think we shall. The first thing I like to do is think about an overall number for the year. What is the total number of books that you want to read in the next calendar year? But I have a few stipulations for you. First of all, be reasonable, okay? Don't be a crazy person, all right? If you don't read that much, then maybe don't set yourself a goal of 70 books, because you're just setting yourself up to fail, and then you feel sad and it's no good. Goal setting is important and it's fun, and I get a real kick out of it, but it's only fun if you set it up so that you're set up for success. So find a number that is reasonable for you. It doesn't mean you can't push yourself a little bit. Like for the last 3 years, I've been trying to read 120 books and I haven't done it yet, so we'll see. But I set that a little bit of a higher number because I know that I can read X number of books a month, and that therefore I can read that. It's just that I haven't done it yet. So I'm just going a little bit out of reach. Also ask yourself what your personality is with goals. I am a lofty person, but I also realize that it has to be realistic, and I would rather have a goal and get close and not meet it than have a goal that is, not really a goal at all that I could finish in a few months, because then it's not really encompassing the entire year. So find your happy middle ground, be reasonable, be fair with yourself, push yourself a little bit if you want to, but it can just be for kicks, Don't put too much pressure on it. Once you have your overall number, your overall goal for the entire year, take a step back, okay? That was step 1. Now we're on to step 2, and we have to look at that number and make it approachable. If I said to myself, I'm going to read 120 books this year, wow, that's a lot. And I don't like to think about it. Just thinking about it makes me freak out a lot of it inside. So what I do is then split up that big number into a monthly number. So if I'm trying to read 120 books for the year, then that means every month I have to read 10 books. So I've taken this huge goal and I've broken it down into something more bite-sized and something that's easier to think about throughout the days and weeks and months that lead up to a year. That way you don't start on January and February and March thinking, oh man, I've only read 6 books, I'm never gonna make it. You have to kind of unagi yourself. You have to mind twist yourself a little bit and know your personality and know that it's better to give yourself those points along the way. I would recommend that every month you think of it as resetting or turning a new page, a new challenge. You still have that big lofty goal, but that doesn't mean you have to think about it as some far distant thing. Having a monthly one brings it back into reality, and it's something that you really can tackle. So I totally highly recommend that angle. The third thing I want you to do as you're writing this down on a piece of paper, your phone, or whatever, is ask yourself what you want more of. Now this is where if you've done this before, the ideas sort of coming in. So I have some ideas for you. First of all, you could say I want to read more of X. Let's say X in this case is a certain genre. Have you tried a new genre this year, in this past year, that you liked and you wanted to read more of? put that as one of your goals. Just say, I want to read more spy thrillers. It could be anything. I want to read more horror, more nonfiction, anything like that. You can really do this for anything. That was just genre, but you could also say, I want to read more of so-and-so author. I want to read more books set in England. I want to read more books set in my home country. I want to read more books written by men. I want to read more books written by women. I want to read more books written by unicorns. It could happen. Another way you can think about different ways to branch out is think about the format you read books in. Do you want to read more Kindle books, more physical books, more audiobooks? Do you want to try more audiobooks? Another way you can think about it is how you get your books. Do you want to read down your TBR? Do you have like an obnoxious sized TBR and you're thinking, this is the year I'm going to tackle that thing and really get it down before I buy any more books? I think that's a great goal and a really fun one. Do you want to go to the library more? Do you want to buy less books? Do you want to buy more books? Think about your past year and how you want to improve upon it or what will make it more fun for you. This next tip is totally optional and I think really depends on your mindset, but every little note you just made for I want to read more of my TBR, of horror, etc., etc., etc. For every one of those, you can add a number. Like, for instance, I want to read 6 classics this year that I already own. That was one of my 2019 goals. For some people, having that number and making it an approachable one is really, really helpful. For some people, it's the opposite and you think it's like too much pressure and then you don't do it. So know yourself and figure out the best way for you. So it's an optional idea if you like having that check mark. And if it's a smaller number, like I want to try 3 audiobooks this year, that's easy. That's a good, easy number, and then you can check them off as you go and feel that sense of accomplishment along the way. The last thing you should do when planning out your yearly reading goal is to decide how you're gonna record them. How you're gonna record all the books you got going so you don't lose track. There are a few ways to do it. I personally think the easiest way is in your own journal because I'm a paper person and I like to have things written down. So this is a journal I've had for literal years, not sure anymore how long, and I just keep the books I've read, and then I just do the title, the author, the date I finished it, and then the page number, and then my rating for it. You can do whatever you want across this top column, okay? Whatever your heart tells you, just as long as you're recording those books, and then at the end of every month, I go through and do the total number of books and the total number of pages of those books, and it feels satisfying, I'm not gonna lie to you. The other way to do it if you are a digital person or if you like the more social aspect of sharing what you've read is through GoodReads, which is a good pal to every reader and something I do enjoy keeping track of my challenge with. The GoodReads challenge is something you can do that you just basically put in the yearly number you've already decided, and it will help you keep track over the course of the year, and at the end it'll give you all sorts of fun stats like your shortest book and your longest book and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And there's the more social aspect to it. There are a few other ways you can do it. I think that having it on paper in a journal somewhere or putting them all on GoodReads is the easiest way and the easiest way to reference all you've done over the course of a year. If you're the more social type of person, you can also create a unique hashtag for yourself or something so that if you post on Instagram or what have you, then all the books you've read you can find again under that hashtag, and then other people can find them if you share the hashtag with people. So just some thoughts. I hope this helped you get some ideas rolling for your next year reading goals. I will be sharing my 2020 reading goals very, very soon. So hope this helped you. Hope you had fun watching it, and let me know what your overall number is or just one of your goals, like what you want to maybe read more of next year. I'd love, love, love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a quick thumbs up before you leave. Drop a comment below. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, but you like all things bookish, then I'm your girl. Go ahead, press that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.